Hi everybody, tonight my topic is making snacking a healthy habit. And we're all going to be faced with all kinds of situations in the next couple weeks where we're going to be looking at decadent sweet treats like these. And these are not even any that I baked, just what's happening is my neighbors, my coworkers are starting to gift me delicious looking things to tempt me. And although we all will be indulging at some level, tonight my purpose is to also show you some healthy snack options that will benefit you. They will help you keep your blood sugar stable. And once you kind of break the sugar habit, you won't be as tempted to overdo when you do have these tempting treats. And we're all going to indulge a little bit, but maybe it's the difference between having 2 cookies or rather than 5 cookies. And generally, if I overindulge in sweets now, I actually don't feel well. I feel sick. So we're on day 2 of our 5-day reset. And the program, again, is 2 smoothies a day, 2 snacks a day, and a healthy meal in the evening. Or you could have your bigger meal at lunchtime as well. And so tonight I'm going to talk about the guidelines for what does a healthy snack look like. And I actually got these guidelines and was first introduced to this concept in this book, The Body Reset Diet by Harley Pasternak. And according to Harley, and actually a lot of other nutrition people, a good guideline for a healthy snack would be around 150 calories. And you want to make sure that you're getting some fiber and some protein so that it fills you up and you're not going to keep snacking. So a good guideline is around 5 grams of fiber, 5 grams of protein, and less than 10 grams of sugar. And so I've put together a few ideas for you tonight. And if you like what you hear and you want to start adapting a healthy snacking habit, send me a message and I will send you more ideas and a little idea tip sheet. And so I started thinking about what could I put together tonight that would maybe be a little bit different than the things that we standardly think of, you know, some hummus and some celery. And I do have some basic options for you as well. But I started looking in Harley's book a little bit and then put together a few ideas. There's a lot of crackers that you can get now that are actually high in fiber and low in calories and are actually pretty tasty. So these are Thin Crisp. They have hardly any calories to them. So they maybe don't have the best taste all on their own, but you can enhance them and make them pretty palatable and have them be part of your healthy snacking habit. And so this is something that I put together. It's some sliced turkey breast, roasted turkey breast. I get it at Costco, my favorite place to shop, and it comes in a package. And I just slice it off, and I usually cut it up and put some in the freezer. And we do that instead of lunch meat because it doesn't have the nitrates and all that nasty stuff in it. But what I did was I just sliced a couple slices of the turkey breast. So that was about 2 ounces of turkey breast. And then some sliced mushrooms. Mushrooms are on our eat as many as you want list. And then some Romano cheese. And so the cheese is high in fat, but I'm not putting all that much on there. You can kind of see. I just grated a little bit, and then I put it in my toaster oven. And I have abandoned the microwave. I don't use it at all. I love my toaster oven. It's a convection toaster oven. It actually cooks food really fast, so you can just put these in there for a couple of minutes. And I would say that this falls pretty close into the guideline of what I talked about, you know, somewhere between 150 and 200 calories. And I added some extra mushrooms there because, again, you can eat as many of those as you want. And the Romano cheese, I love Romano cheese. And you don't need a whole lot of it to add some flavor. If you crave something salty, you're going to get the salty, your salty fix. And, of course, I get the Romano cheese at Costco. I hate to be sounding like a Costco commercial, but I grew up in Chicago, and it was very difficult for me to pay the prices at the specialty Italian stores here in the Madison area. So I was really thrilled when I found this Romano cheese at Costco, and it's fairly affordable compared to what you would get like at the Italian deli. And we use it a lot around here. So I generally just look at what I have on hand and throw it together. And if I didn't have the mushrooms, I would probably do some red pepper and slice the red pepper and throw that in the toaster oven. And then I was thinking about other ideas, looked in Harley's book, and of course this is kind of a classic, peanut butter and celery. And the guideline for the peanut butter, you don't want to overdo it, is around a tablespoon. So if you can see this here, our little ants on a log, if you remember this from after school snack, David and I used to have this all the time. The 3 on the left, that is 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. And I decided to use currants instead of raisins. They're a little bit tinier and they fit in there really well. So it gives you some protein, some fiber, a little bit of sweetness from the currants. And then I started wondering, well, what would happen if I experimented with my peanut powder? And I talked about that a little bit. So the peanut butter that I used in my ants on a log was just this kind that I get from the health food store. So it's just where you go up to the machine and you hit the button and the peanuts get ground up. So there's nothing added to it. And so 3 of those would kind of fit that kind of general guideline for 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. But I started wondering, well, what would happen if I just rehydrated this peanut powder and added some water to it? And so I did that, and it actually was really tasty. So the peanut powder, if you're really looking to reduce your fat intake and reduce your calories, is amazing, because 2 tablespoons of this is only 40 calories. And so my last little ant on a log here was made with just the rehydrated peanut powder, and then I added a little cinnamon on top, because just about everything is better with cinnamon. So that led me to another experiment, because I started wondering, well, what else could I do with that peanut powder if somebody wanted something that was kind of spicy instead of something that was sweet? And so my next little endeavor today, and I did all this after I got home from work this afternoon, was a spicy dip that I put together with the peanut powder. And what I added to that, so I rehydrated the peanut powder with a little water, and what I added there was a little bit of this curry paste that I get at the Asian store. And you don't need very much of it. It does have a really strong flavor. If you don't like curry, you could add some other spices to it. But it kind of is reminiscent of a marinade that I make for chicken. So a little bit of the curry powder, or the curry paste actually, and then a little kick of something else spicy. And I use just a little drizzle of this sesame oil with some hot peppers in it. And this is, my husband likes really hot food, and so you only need a little bit of this. You can actually buy a spicy sesame oil at the Asian store, but this is some that I made, and I used these super hot peppers that I got from my friend Cindy when I was out visiting her a couple years ago out in California, and I ground them up and I added it to some sesame oil, and so I just put a little drizzle of that in my hot peanut dip. And then a little bit of fresh ginger. So this is just a piece of ginger. I grated a little bit of that in there. And then these crackers are called Mary's Gone crackers, and I got those at Costco too. And let me see, I'll give you a little bit about Mary's Gone crackers. They're organic, they're gluten-free, wheat-free, dairy-free, and 10 crackers, which is about what I have on the plate there, is only 110 calories, 2 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of protein. And so I added the cucumber to kind of cool the heat from my hot spicy peanut dip that I made. And you could also, add garlic to the dip and any other spices if you don't happen to have the curry paste on hand. So something a little bit spicy. So we got a lot of variety in our snacks today. And then this is kind of a classic, but I did have a conversation. This is some yogurt with blueberries and a little bit of grape nuts on top. And I had a conversation with a friend who I hadn't spoken to in a really long time, who's trying to improve her health. She actually, I reconnected with her on Facebook, and she filled out our Shaklee health print. And so we had a follow-up phone conversation, and she said one of the things that she snacks on is Yoplait yogurt, and she wanted to know if that was healthy or not. And I had to break the news to her that it's loaded with a lot of sugar. So you really want to be careful about those prepared yogurts that you buy at the grocery store. You're much better off to buy a plain yogurt. This is Greek yogurt. I like the whole milk one. If you're really concerned about fat and calories, you can do a low-fat or non-fat yogurt. But I like these little cups. It's a 1 cup thing that I got from Pampered Chef, and it actually has the little markings right on the jar, so you can kind of get an idea, well, how much is a half a cup of yogurt. And so these were frozen blueberries this time of year, but I've done this with fresh blueberries. And the grape nuts, I love to have something crunchy when I have yogurt and fruit. I don't know, it's just more satisfying that way. So the grape nuts are great. They're high in fiber. They're not going to add a lot of calories. And of course, I sprinkled a little cinnamon on the top. If you do have a little bit of sweet tooth and you want something a little bit sweeter, once you start reducing your sugar intake, you're not going to crave it quite as much. But if you do want a little bit of sugar, you could add a little drizzle of honey. And this is my little honey wand thing. And so it's kind of nice because it comes out slowly, and you can just put a little bit of honey on there if you feel like you have to curb your sweet tooth. And then what else do I have? So that's kind of a good recap so far. And then if you're saying, Monica, I don't have a whole lot of time, I need like really simple things that I can grab when I'm ravenously hungry and I don't have time to do any of this prep stuff, just a guideline, you know, an apple and some walnuts is a great snack. I did look up, I learned a lot about walnuts. They're actually amazing food. They're very high in the good kind of fat that you want. But if you're really watching calories and you want to stay in that 150 to 200 guideline, that's about, you know, how many walnuts? It's about an eighth of a cup is about 100 calories. And then the apple, or if you don't have the apple, you could have twice as many walnuts just as a snack, really quick. Sometimes when I get home from work and I'm really hungry, I'll grab a handful of walnuts, a handful of almonds, some pecans. You really want to be careful of like the trail mix stuff because a lot of it has added, you know, chocolate and sugar and other stuff in it. In dried fruit is really great, but it is high in sugar, so you got to, you know, use it gingerly. A lot of times I'll make my own trail mix so I can regulate. Like I'm going to throw some raisins in there, but, you know, make sure I have a good ratio of nuts to raisins. So that's kind of our lineup of snack ideas tonight. And of course, we do have the snack bars that I talk about all the time. These are a real lifesaver. I was at work the other day, and one of the guys, one of our managers at work hadn't had an opportunity to go out and eat, and so I gave him one of these and kind of curbed him over till we got to close the store and all go home. We also have the Shaklee snack crisps. I don't have them on hand right now, but that's a great snack on the go if you're looking for something. If you like chips and you want something salty, they're great to have on hand. And I can't remember the nutritional content, but if you're interested in those, post a comment and I will post the nutritional value of the snack crisps. So if you really like nutty flavors and you want some other ideas, tomorrow at noon, I'm going to actually make our little snack balls, or protein snack balls. And you can do endless combinations. It's basically oats, our protein powder, nut butter. You can use peanut butter, almond butter, and I even experimented with cashew butter, and you can add all the different kinds of add-ins. So I'm going to be doing that at noon tomorrow. And thanks for watching tonight. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of my videos the rest of the week, send me a message. I'll throw you into my closed Facebook group where I'm reposting all of these videos. And thanks for watching tonight.